I don't know what you all are talking about, but everybody I talk to is talking about what Donald Trump doesn't want to talk about. So let's talk about it.
Share your feelings. It's not just the end of our show, but it's the end of the Late Show on CBS. I'm not being replaced. This is all just going away.
By the way, last night, an analysis by Wired revealed that the video actually had nearly 3 minutes cut out. 3 minutes. 3 missing minutes.
What happens when a late-night host says the one thing a president never wants to hear on live TV? Colbert just dropped a truth bomb so raw, the network couldn't cut to commercial fast enough. From a $16 million payout to whispers of names in the Epstein files, this isn't a skit. It's a shot straight at the top.
It being the conspiracy surrounding his old dancing buddy, Jeffrey Epstein. There you go. Donald Trump seems desperate to stop us from knowing who Jeffrey Epstein's clients were. Have kept promising to release the files surrounding Jeffrey Epstein, his mysterious clients, and his suspicious death.
And the best part? Every word is real footage. If Trump's meltdown afterwards is any hint, you're about to see why this moment is already called the wall breaker. Before we move on, I will like you to subscribe to the channel and like the video. It only took one sentence from Colbert to light up every political group chat in America.
I don't understand it. Why they would be so interested. He's dead for a long time.
In fact, yesterday, he said he was surprised anyone even cares about the guy.
He was never a big factor in terms of life.
He was in the middle of his usual monologue, tossing out jokes about the news, when suddenly his tone shifted. The crowd expected another ha-ha moment, but instead he dropped a direct hit that had Trump's camp scrambling before the show even ended. You could almost feel the oxygen in the room change. People came for laughs, not for a grenade with the pin already pulled. That night on The Late Show, the audience was relaxed, drinks in hand, ready for another safe round of political wisecracks mixed with celebrity banter. After all, late night is usually the place for playful digs and easy punches. But then Colbert did the unthinkable. He brought up the Epstein files and made a connection that pointed straight to the most protective ego in politics. No build-up, no soft landing, just bam. This was not your average orange turd punchline. This was him stepping right onto ground that most media figures tiptoe around like it's covered in live wires.
I don't understand why the Jeffrey Epstein case would be of interest to anybody. It's pretty boring stuff.
The most powerful man in the world is blocking information about a cabal of the rich, the famous, and the royal, befriending a con man who regularly flies off in his private plane to his private island or do super illegal sex stuff? Yes. No, he's right. The Epstein saga is a total snooze fest. I mean,
on live television, naming names linked to something as toxic as Epstein is the broadcasting version of juggling lit fireworks in an oxygen tent. Usually, a remark that risky would get clipped out in editing or avoided altogether. Network lawyers don't like it, sponsors don't like it, and politicians, they really don't like it. But here it was, going out uncut in front of millions. Colbert wasn't just teasing a rumor, he was daring to say the thing that makes PR teams start sweating through their suits. The reaction in the studio told its own story. Some people laughed the way you laugh when you don't know if you should be laughing. Others let out these sharp, stunned gasps. You could spot producers in the wings with that frozen half smile, the kind you give when you're waiting for a phone in your pocket to start buzzing with an executive's number. And Colbert? He had that look of a man who had already made peace with the fallout. Part of why he might have felt so loose was the chatter swirling around him that week. Rumors that the network didn't actually want him around much longer. He hinted at it on air.
This all comes as Paramount's owners are trying to get the Trump administration to approve the sale of our network to a new owner, Skydance.
Cancellation came just 3 days after show host Stephen Colbert spoke out against CBS, settling a lawsuit with President Trump for $16 million.
I want to let you know something that I found out just last night. Next year will be our last season. The network will be ending The Late Show in May.
Saying he could now speak unvarnished truth to power. You could take that as just showmanship, or if you were listening closely, you could take it as, I've got nothing left to lose, and I'm going to swing hard. The line about the Epstein files wasn't just risky, it crossed into taboo for American television. That's the red line territory. Direct public links between a president and one of the most poisonous scandals in modern politics. Most hosts stick to safer digs because they know how fast the legal and political pushback can hit.
Further analysis showed that one of the source clips was approximately 2 minutes and 53 seconds longer than the segment included in the final video. Trump took a break from telling us how we shouldn't care about his mysterious dead pedophile buddy and paid a visit to Pennsylvania instead. Despite the administration claiming it was raw footage, Wired found that the video had been stitched together in Adobe Premiere Pro from 2 video files.
But Colbert didn't pull back after the audience reaction. He doubled down, repeating himself with that sly half grin, making sure everyone caught it. And let's be clear, this was the exact moment that set Trump off. People in Trump's orbit knew the comment was live. They knew it would be clipped and shared before the credits rolled. And when the man known for never letting a slight go heard himself tied to something he wants buried deep, the fuse was lit. But Colbert wasn't done. That night wasn't just about one sharp truth. He was about to take that same fearless edge and point it at a massive money story, one that made Trump's reaction to the Epstein line look almost calm by comparison. This is where he dragged a $16 million deal out into the spotlight and made it sound like more than just another business move. Turns out, the meltdown over the Epstein line wasn't just about wounded pride. Behind the scenes was a corporate money story that made Trump's temper look a lot more strategic. Colbert tossed it out in what sounded like another late night zinger, but the words were loaded. He claimed Paramount handed Trump $16 million, then mysteriously canned a show right as they were pushing through a huge merger with Skydance. Now, maybe that's just pure coincidence, or maybe it's the kind of coincidence that shows up with a briefcase and a non-disclosure agreement.
We found this real picture of his uncle, John Trump, strapped into one of his marvelous machines. Say, I actually didn't go to school here, you know. You don't actually know me. I'm a figment of the imagination of your dumbest nephew. That's a smart man. He also had 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. It was like, only man to ever have 4. That's 4 right there.
Colbert didn't make it sound like an industry footnote. He said it with that smile he gets when he knows he's walking a knife edge. And the laugh he gave after was the kind where half of it is amusement and the other half is, I can't believe I just said that out loud. On paper, the whole thing looks like a simple transaction between a network and a public figure. But once you put it into the context of late-night television, politics, and massive corporate mergers, it starts to smell less like popcorn and more like whatever's rotting in Grumpy Trumpy's moral fridge. Here's the part that makes people twitch. Was Paramount just trimming its roster for business reasons? Or was this money a quiet way to take out one of Trump's biggest comedic critics during a sensitive deal? That's not just a gossip question. It cuts right into the idea of a free press. If media giants can make political headaches go away with a wire transfer, how much of what we see on TV is shaped by business deals instead of truth? It's like paying off the ref before a big playoff game, then calling it a sponsorship package. You can dress it up however you want, but the outcome still stinks. The way Colbert framed it on air was brutal and simple. He called it a betrayal broadcast live. Now, betrayal isn't a word comedians drop lightly, especially when their own show exists at the mercy of the same corporate suits. But if you've got a network paying a man who regularly throws tantrums about you on Truth Social right before it kills a show and locks in a $1 billion merger, somebody in that building is doing math that has nothing to do with ratings. The best part, or worst part, depending on your point of view, was how he wrapped it all in humor so sharp it almost made you miss the accusation. Almost. To the casual viewer, it was a spicy late night bit. To Trump, it was like watching someone publicly walk through the vault and read your bank statements out loud. And if you looked at his face, his mannerisms in the days after, the anger wasn't the performative I'm mad at the fake news act. This seemed like the real vein-popping kind of fury.
The fallout continues after CBS announced that it's canceling The Late Show after a 3-decade run, citing financial issues at the network.
Well, look, it's clear to me that Colbert doesn't have it anymore. It's sort of sad to see what's happening to Colbert. They obviously can't get it done. They're not making money over there.
It showed up fast on Truth Social, long rants that had the usual mix of all caps outrage, random quotation marks, and creative spelling. He insulted Colbert, the network, and anyone who laughed that night, like he was personally keeping score of every chuckle. Off stage, it sounded like he was venting to anyone who would listen, trying to flip the script before the story cemented in the public mind. Colbert's jab wasn't just a joke about grumpy Trumpy's ego, it was proof that satire can sneak past the suits, slip under the censors, and plant uncomfortable truths right in the middle of prime time. That's why the orange turd hates it, because laughter makes the truth stick. So don't just watch late night for the quick laughs. Watch for the moments where comedy becomes a spotlight, showing what powerful people hope you ignore. Pay attention, laugh loud, and remember, if this much made it onto live TV, imagine the stuff they cut before you even got a chance to hear it.